Emma eats bread and butter like a queen would have ostrich and cobra wine. We'll have satanic Christmas Eve and play piano in the chateau lobby. I've never done this, baby, be gentle. It's my first time. I've got you inside. People are boring, but you're something else completely. Damn, let's take our chances.
This is what, episode 52, right?
52, yeah.
There's a crazy storm going on that finally just calmed down before pre-recording.
We passed through the wall of the hurricane.
Yeah, I thought we weren't gonna be able to record it first because it was showing up on the mic pretty loud, but luckily it stopped because the mics are right by this window here, so it gets really loud when it starts smacking right up against it. It was hailing too.
It was setting off car alarms.
Yeah, and also I don't even have my headphones, so we're just winging it today. You know, the sound might suck, but you know, that's what you get sometimes. I'll try to sort it out.
It happens.
Oh shit. So you want to talk about this Apple ad we watched? This privacy ad?
Yeah, it seems like Apple's really big about privacy right now. Because obviously we've talked about it before. Privacy is a huge issue these days.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this actually made it on the podcast because it was on one that we lost a few weeks back. I don't know if you remember that one.
It could have been.
But no, not this ad specifically. I was going to say we were talking about how Facebook and Google were paying teens to install a VPN on their phones that provides basically all their interactions with their phone, the data they send, the things they type on the keyboard.
And Apple wasn't having any of that shit.
Yeah, and for a moment they banned the Facebook certificate from being installed on iPhones, but I guess they allow it again for whatever reason. But you still have to opt into that. But the whole point, I guess, is that you have to choose what you share on the iPhone is what they're trying to push, or at least you're aware of when you're sharing data for each app.
At least they're being very transparent about it.
That is pretty cool ad where they show, you know, people walking further away from each other in the urinal so they're not right next to each other, people shredding documents, you know, basically anything privacy related. And it all led up to, you know, why shouldn't your phone have this? It was a pretty cool take on it.
Yeah, no.
Because, you know, we do use these things, and I just picked up this little iPhone SE off eBay, which... a little sidetracked, but I thought it was hilarious because you made the joke that, you know, maybe it's fake.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, I hope this shit isn't fake when I was driving home last night. And then I turned it on. Everything looked legit Apple. I mean, it was a brand new Apple box seal, but then
it's got some Chinese malware on it.
no, just wait. So I go to the settings, and I didn't pop the SIM card in yet from my Android phone. And it shows carrier, and it's just a bunch of like Chinese symbols. I'm like, what the fuck? But then I popped in my my SIM card, and it updated and said like T-Mobile like version 35, and it all works perfectly now. So I guess it was just it's an unlocked phone. It's probably originally, you know, sold in Asia, so the default carrier is just like no carrier, but in like kanji or something.
So that means it was already used to like everyone in China. You know, I feel like they're being listened to on their phones. Would you be surprised about that?
Definitely, like on the Huawei phones, the companies that are Chinese for sure, because they have to at least have some in with the government, especially because they're so large. They definitely have, you know, some sort of influence by the Chinese. Because I'm pretty
sure that all companies in China they have to be like considered an actual company. They have to be through the government. So like all companies, they're actually like government like run, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
that's weird.
There's a ton of knockoff iPhones, I'm sure everyone's seen them, that are sold in China that people use are actually Android, but I'm pretty sure that you can get real iPhones there.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah,
but the thing is, all the apps they use, like, you know, I think like Weibo, or I don't know, you know, whatever their Wii Chat. Or
Yeah,
whatever
no,
it's
yeah,
called.
I've heard of that one.
Yeah, it's all some like mega app we talked about in the past. How you can pay your rent payments. You can, talk to people on there like Facebook Messenger. There's a social network type aspect to it. But it's weird to like pay your water bill on basically Facebook. They run their life through this company, and all the data is
Yeah.
obviously monitored by the Chinese government. So when people post
yeah.
certain articles, they get pulled down or pictures because nothing is completely free over there when you're using those services. That's why I don't really trust the Huawei laptops or anything.
No.
Yeah, I think
you
that's
really
why they're so
can't.
cheap, to be honest.
Oh yeah, because
If you look at like a MacBook Pro, I know there's the Apple tax, but even say like a Microsoft Surface Book or some nice, decently high-end laptop, it's going to be easily, $300-400 more usually than the Chinese brand equivalent with like the, craziest specs, like the Max i7, 16 gigs of RAM, but it's always mysteriously a little bit cheaper. I feel like it's because they're stealing your data.
yeah, they would love
All these
to
Americans
take. Yep.
using their devices, like what do they do on these things?
Maybe take a little bit of a hit on the amount of profit that they get, but in terms of the information, they're probably making like billions. Yeah, I guess if you want to consider it like a monetary value.
Right. And I mean, it's not like we're just randomly targeting, China because they make the phones there. They're the main hackers along with Russia in terms
Yeah.
of attacks against U.S. companies and just personal accounts and things along those lines.
I'm not going to put too much weight into this since this was just an anonymous person on Reddit that someone was discussing. Yeah,
It's a CI. We can't disclose who it was.
yeah,
But
they
go on.
were describing how they're, and maybe you've heard of similar situations. I don't know, they might be real. There's just whole companies out there just designed just to fuck with U.S. like institutions, like in China. Like,
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah,
I was reading
yeah,
this whole
me too,
article
yeah.
about these fake companies where there's all these guys in office buildings and they're sitting there all day trying to hack into U.S. companies.
Yeah.
There's like managers walking around with Progress. It's like actual software company, but it's all trying to steal American data.
yeah, and it's
And they tried to track down one of these guys on the street, and they're all elusive. These because they get paid probably pretty well. They scoot them around in private cars and all that, and they're basically like always hidden away. They don't talk about what they do. They deny everything.
I don't understand
But
why.
they've intercepted the traffic to
Yeah.
these specific buildings. The FBI and some of these organizations, so they know where it's coming from. They've linked who's the parent company of this place, and they link it all the way up to the government in most cases. But they just deny it all, and they shut down the building and move somewhere. It's pretty good plot or strategy, to be honest, because it's on their country's turf, and we can't really, we can only do so much in terms of finding them.
Well, that's why I'm not sure why we don't put more of an emphasis on just cybersecurity on just the government level.
Yeah. Like even when setting up this phone today, not only, we just watched the ad, but it tells you right in the very first setup before you even, get to the main screen all about privacy, and things they share, and you can, even send more information to your email if you want to read about it. But it basically tells you right up front that it's a security-based experience. I don't know, most of it could be bullshit, but I think in general, based on what I've seen, it's probably more secure than Android.
I would probably say so. But again, with having
Yeah.
no knowledge really on
And I'll say I didn't
Yeah.
get it for security. I mean, I picked up this phone. It was a cheaper one,
It's
not
small.
the newest iPhone.
I like that.
Yeah, I kind of hot about small phones right now, and this is the smallest, fastest iPhone you can buy, and it was a decent price. It's $250, so I thought it was a pretty good pickup. But I was just trying to get a phone that works good and is less distracting, easier to carry around. My phone's just lagging, not working good, and
it was submerged for 45 minutes, 30 minutes.
Yeah, it was
yeah.
underwater in a river. It was also in an ocean. It's been through a lot. It's still
Yeah.
sitting there on the desk right there on, but no one could ever hear me on the phone.
It's
The
like-
mic's ruined.
It was like the Mars rover,
Yeah.
right up to the end.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm asking for too much. All I want is a phone that is snappy, quick to use, and everyone is crystal clear, and the text messaging and everything works perfectly.
Yeah, I can actually hear you when we speak
You
on the
sounded
phone.
so relieved. You're like, I can hear you.
Yeah,
There's so much
holy
excitement
shit!
in your
Oh my
voice.
god, yeah. Because for the past year or so, every time I called you, it sounds like you were talking through like your shirt. You know, you talking like your mouth over your hand. It was very mumbled.
I know my neighbors probably think I'm talking to someone with some sort of disability.
Yeah.
I'll be like, wow, I can't wait to sleep in. It's been a rough week. I'll be like, well, I'll be like, I can't wait to sleep in. It's like I have to slow it down for you.
You really had to. It was insane. But while you
I don't know who to blame. Samsung, it's your fault.
well, you brought up phones, but we were reading this other article that was stating how
Yeah, this links into
Kids.
our discussion
Yeah.
before the cast about phone addiction. And I've suffered a lot with being addicted to my phone. Sometimes I go yell at myself in the mirror. I'll be like, just put it down. Just stop, and walk away. I'll just leave it in there.
teens and young adults are more depressed now than in the mid 2000s. The article,
Yeah.
that's the title of this article, which that makes sense because we were talking about before the podcast started with Facebook, which is that's the main platform people are on. All you see are people's highlights, and especially on Instagram, that's the bigger one. I mean, you'll see some people like I won't name any names, but you'll see people who will post actually real stuff and stuff that you wouldn't expect someone to want to put out there. Kudos to them, but most people just put out highlights, oh yeah, this vacation or this meal,
Here's
shit like
me
that.
in front of this fountain with
Yeah.
a drink,
Yeah, just
a blue drink.
yeah, exactly. So when most people let's say they just go to their job Monday through Friday or whatever schedule that they work and go to school, they see that and they're like, fuck, my life actually sucks when I see all these other people traveling and doing X, Y, and Z, when in reality that's only a small fraction of their lives too. They just use social media a lot.
Yeah,
You know
I
what
think
I mean?
especially in this teens and young adult category.
They grew up
because-
with it. That's all I
Yeah,
know.
and at that age, you don't really necessarily have much in your control. So if you're some kid in the middle of Wisconsin who just grew up in a suburban family who doesn't have money for you to go travel Europe, and you're too young to be doing that stuff anyways. But you might feel like you're missing out when you see these other kids on Instagram in Greece and shit on yachts, riding jet skis. But that's just their life. Maybe they'll be able to do that stuff if they make the right choices or luck happens to lead them there. But for the most part, it's just that's just you're seeing things, but it's not necessarily even happiness. It's just that's that person's life situation, and we didn't used to get exposed to that stuff nearly as much.
No.
Back in the day, we'd see a few music videos that were ridiculous, especially
The one show The Fabulous Life of, and they would the Rich and
Yeah,
Wealthy
or Cribs.
Cribs.
Yeah, everyone watched Cribs. We're like, oh shit, he's got a Shark Tank and 3 Bentleys. But we all knew that's Lil Wayne or that's someone who's
a lot of that
really-
was fake too. Did you know that?
Yeah, they would rent shit before just
Yeah.
for Cribs because they knew Cribs was coming. So they got to I'm not bro, can I borrow your car and your car? I'd ask all my other.
They would rent out
friends.
whole houses for
Yeah.
people. They were mentioning Ja Rule was on there one day.
Dude, I was so
They
stupid.
rented out a whole mansion for him. Wasn't even his.
I used to think they always owned everything. That's how stupid I was when it came to music and how things were and videos. I thought whenever they'd show a rapper with their cars and all that, I thought they owned all those.
No,
All
they
those
just-
chains.
Chains. Yeah,
2 chains.
I thought that too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you'd see they have 50 chains on their neck. It's probably $500,000 worth of jewelry. They're they don't have all their money in jewelry. That'd be idiotic. They would just rent that shit for 2 hours from a jeweler.
They would rent. This is most just music videos. People rent shit. Just
Yeah.
they have to rent the props for it. So they'll rent the cars. They'll rent the chains. They'll rent the extras in it. Everyone.
In some cases they might, if a guy's a badass house. I'm sure that some rappers have. I'm sure Tyga's house has been in a video, or some of those guys 2 Chainz. But for the most part, when you especially coming up rappers, SoundCloud-esque rappers, they don't suddenly have a $2 million mansion in Beverly Hills. Like they just rent that shit for the video.
Like, doesn't Tyga have a video that's he filmed it in the UFC house? Like, I remember Chuck Liddell was in the video.
But yeah. Yeah, oh
Yeah.
yeah. That's the one I was thinking of too. Well, Gucci when he was on house arrest. Wow, why I can't talk today? What's wrong with me? That's what happens.
The Rain Spirits.
That's what happens when you stare at code all day and computers and look at documents. Your brain just gets fried. And so the circuits are just smoking. It's like stop looking at information. And we've just been reading articles and. Whew. But what the fuck were we even talking about? I got off track.
We were talking about mansions and 2 Chainz.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Gucci Mane.
Gucci
So when
Mane.
he got out of jail and he was on house arrest or probation, whatever. I don't know exactly. How's that work? Is it you're on probation and you get house arrest?
No, I mean, like, house arrest, you just can't leave your house. I mean, like,
Yeah, they're not hand in hand, right? Like, or they're
I
not.
mean, I feel like most people, if you have to be on house arrest, like, you're probably on probation. But I
not-
don't know.
Yeah, it's not inversely true though.
What do you mean?
Like you can be on probation
Probation.
and go still be free. You just can't do.
Oh, yeah,
you just
of
can't do
course.
drugs and stuff. They'll drug test you and.
Yeah, or whatever,
drink,
or
probably, right?
whatever, like, stipulations that you have. You know, you can't, like, go gambling or, you know,
Yeah.
like, or who the fuck knows?
I'm sure you could probably have, you can definitely like have some beers at home, but they probably don't want you out partying either. Just because
It's-
it leads to stuff. You probably have the probation officer.
I'm pretty sure it just, like, depends on, like, each case, but for the most part, yeah, like, you can be on probation and
You
just,
probably
like,
can't leave the
not,
state, etc. Yeah.
because you and I know people who have been on probation and they're not under house arrest. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah, that was an idiotic moment,
Yeah.
but whatever. I'm sure he learned from it.
So it's how do we even get on that topic?
We were just talking
Gucci
about
Mane.
Gucci.
Yeah.
He filmed his whole video in his house when he was still on house arrest because he couldn't leave. So he's like, you know what? I've made this song. I'm just gonna film me in my house. And he has a badass mansion. So he's just like walking around, walking up and down the stairs,
Yeah, it's like, why not?
chilling on the couch. Yeah, it's like all gold and nice and decorated white. So it really like all looks cohesive. His house looks like a movie set. I'm sure they did it up though. He had like a company come in and.
Maybe not. I mean, maybe he just has like really like exquisite tastes.
Yeah, he just lives in like a super high class looking mansion, I guess.
I mean,
I can
look,
see that.
Yeah, because people look.
He does have that style kind of too. He'll wear like all white shirt with like white pants. And it's like he has like his all red car. He looks really like loud and like I don't know what you call that. Like single colors. Like I can see his whole house being white totally. Like everything in it almost. In gold.
Kind of like the one SpongeBob episode when everything's chrome in the
Yeah,
future.
he's consistent. Yeah, that's some shit Gucci would choose. He's like, I want everything to be chrome in the future.
When I was young, I loved just everything about chrome. I wanted like all my shit to be chrome. Like when I was a kid,
You just
when
wanted
I
everything chrome.
when I was a kid,
I
I would
honestly was
think
never
that,
a fan
yeah,
of chrome. I like blacked out things.
when I was a kid,
We're
I would
talking
want
bumpers.
to like let's say have my car everything chrome, the wheels, the paint, everything chrome. That was weird.
I've seen cars like that and it's strange. My
Yeah,
brain
yeah.
doesn't
Now
know what
I'll
to do
watch
with
it.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw like a Charger covered in chrome and a Mercedes one before. It's just a strange looking. It looks like a UFO moving along the road because this reflects all the light.
It is cool to look at, but I don't like just for
I
a
wouldn't
little
have it
bit.
on my
Yeah,
car.
it draws too much attention though.
Yeah, I mean you have a chrome car.
Yeah, it's usually not
How
something
about
that
gold?
you just gold.
Like shiny gold. Like it looks like
Well,
you're driving a gold bar.
that would probably be just as distracting. Yeah,
Probably more.
anything that's just like shiny and reflective
Yeah.
is going to draw attention.
Like
And
basically wrapped in copper.
but again, that's probably not a bad thing too, because like look at a whole different
Hiding in plain
vehicle,
sight.
but whole different vehicle. But like imagine like a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Like you want to be visible on a motorcycle because or be heard because people are idiots and they'll fucking hit you.
I always thought if I get a motorcycle, I want like the lime green Ninja. One because it
Lime
looks
green.
badass. I was
It's
like the
visible.
Kawasaki Ninjas, but yeah, the green's very visible. It's like that highlighter. Oh, actually, that's not highlighter. It's more like just a pure like lizard, pure green with the black mixed in.
I feel like I would enjoy riding a motorcycle,
Oh, I would
driving
so
one,
much.
but I would not want to do it in like southeastern Michigan, like over here.
It looks
because
like people shoot mortars regularly at each
Yeah,
other. Like
it's-
there's just holes in the road.
too fucking many. Look,
Yeah, like Grand Theft Auto, people are dropping grenades out their doors on the freeway,
and they
blowing
come out of
holes.
nowhere.
Yeah,
I swear to God.
I hit one today with one boom, and my whole car like dipped a little bit. I was like, God damn! Like you're gonna blow my wheel off, Michigan.
It throws off my entire mood if I hit a bad
Oh,
pothole.
yeah.
I could be jamming to the
Yep.
best song in the world, fucking singing along. I hit a pothole, and that makes me think about my whole decisions for the entire fucking week. Like why
You suddenly switch
why
up the
did I take
music
this
genre.
road?
You put on heavy metal. You're angry.
I'm just sad. I'm like I can't believe that just happened. I'm like this is a new car. Like I fucked up.
Put on like indie rock. That's really sad.
Get a
Get
teardrop out of my
Yeah,
eye.
you start getting sad about living in Michigan.
Go-
Everything just comes down at once.
But no, it's so frustrating, and I wouldn't want to put myself in that situation where I fall into a pothole going fucking like 40 to like 80 miles an hour on a fucking motorcycle.
Yeah, I've seen news articles in the past few years where guys have died
Oh yeah.
falling in a gigantic pothole. Like the front fork gets ripped off, or the front wheel falls off. They fly off the front.
It would be different if you were in a place that didn't get a lot of rainfall and didn't have a lot of like heavy traffic flow.
Yeah, if I lived in definitely not in the city, maybe downtown. Doesn't seem like if you're almost really in the city and far out of the city are better than being in the middle. Like the suburbs are way worse, I feel. Lots of people like on their cell phones, moms turning around talking to kids.
Yeah, like really.
Because you're only going like 25 downtown. Like say if you're driving around downtown Detroit, I feel like it's a little bit safer than over here in Oakland County. Like people are idiots.
But you know that most people when they get I'm not saying everyone, but I would say like the average person who gets a motorcycle, they want to go fucking fast on it. And
I would kind of like
Yeah.
rolling around the city, to be honest. That'd be cool. But I would want to go fast sometimes.
would you rather have one of those like moped things like you see in like Europe, or would you want like
I would like the Street Fighter type, where it's like a mix between sitting upright but kind of a sport bike, so it's not so hard on your back. And they usually have like a little carrying bag thing in the back.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, like something you'd see in a movie with probably like a submachine gun they'd pull out and like shoot at a car they're
Oh
chasing.
no, okay, I got.
You
the
know what? Let's
picture in my
pull
head.
up. Yeah, I'm gonna pull one up. Oh shit! It's pulling up street. Okay, I'm glad I actually knew what I was talking about. I was 100% sure I was gonna pull up Street Fighter, the video game.
I
Yeah,
like
like one of those.
I like the it like did you see
Like-
that the red one if you scroll up?
Like that.
No, scroll up.
Oh, sorry.
Yep, right there.
Ducati.
Yeah.
Expensive taste. I like Ducatis too.
Yeah, they look. Yeah.
Yeah, that one's sweet.
Do you know?
Yeah, see how you kind of sit up like a dirt bike, but it's sporty still.
Do you know how you can get bikes, like actual bikes, with the metal rod to support your back? You ever see those? It's like two.
A metal rod.
It's like two. How do I describe this? You know how you'll sit
Just
in
like a seat back?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I've always like when I was a kid, I always wanted a bike like that so bad. It's so weird.
Like a cruiser bike, yeah, where you lean back and just ride. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
can you imagine even taking on Heinz? I'm sure that's fun as shit. You always see guys riding their bikes down there.
That was always for some reason like a dream of mine as a kid, but I never asked for it. Like I never like tried to attain it for some reason. Look, I think that's on my bucket list, but that's probably the easiest thing that I could cross off. I need to get one of those.
A motorcycle?
No, one of those just like bicycles with the backrest because I'm lazy as fuck.
Oh, like
and I feel like
there's a name for those. Not tandem bike, that's two people.
the thing that we were just talking about,
Where you lay down, kind of?
kind of like that.
I thought you were
but-
talking about motorcycles with a backrest. You're
So-
talking about actual bikes.
So do you okay? So
You're talking about where you lay down, yeah, and you pedal forward.
so there's bikes where it's basically like you know how you're kind of seated
I'm
in
just
your
looking
chair
it
right
up.
now. Let's see.
Recumbent, yeah, recumbent bikes.
Let's see.
You want one of these?
No, that's not what I'm talking about.
Dude, those look scary to me.
Yeah, that's not that's not what I'm talking about. Imagine basically biking like this, like except a little bit more like laid back.
I'm not sure.
Like
I
we're
know-
sitting in these
You're gonna have to buy one and
chairs.
show me.
Yeah, I'll have to do some research and send this out, or maybe how about this? I'll just make it myself if no one actually has what I'm thinking of.
You'll just make it yourself. Just be a custom bike builder. That's your new career.
It might be.
You never know. What if you're not tapping? You know, I always think about that. Like, what if there's a skill that you're a natural at? Because, you know, people say, like, you know, oh, like, their voice is perfect. You know, they're just a natural singer. I don't think I have. Trust me. We're just talking. I sing all the time, just in private mainly, and I'm bad at it. But I love it.
It's fun.
I
but
do it
yeah.
all the time.
I'm not going on
embarrassed.
American Idol.
Yeah, like, I'm not going to go out of my way to do a performance. But if someone hears me if I'm singing in the car, whatever.
Yeah.
But I always think about what are some random things all of us could be naturals at. Like, what if you're a natural woodworker or something like that, and you just never have tried that thing?
I did take weird that you bring that up, because back in high school I took 2 years or 2 semesters in consecutive years, whatever the fuck it was, I don't remember, of wood shop, and that was actually really fun. I wasn't bad at it.
I had that in middle school. It was awesome. I made a little metal mail thing, I don't know if you call it like a
wood shop
lunch bucket.
wood shop or metal shop.
Both, I guess. I also made like a wood box that we used the I don't even know. See, this is how little I know about woodworking. Where you can put the edge on it, the design, so it's like rounded on the edges with a little like flare to it. How do I not know what to call that? Like a router, I guess.
I don't fucking know.
Yeah, shit. I don't know how to make
Yeah.
wood things.
But
I could
remember
probably
making
try now.
I made a little like drawer thing that I gave to
follow
my
guide.
aunt. It was like a little like you could like hang it on the walls. It's kind of cool, but it's just nice creating things, and yeah, a lot of people don't really tap into probably what they're really good at. Maybe they don't even know. They just
That's what
haven't
I'm
been
getting
introduced
at.
to it.
Yeah, like with the majority of things you just wouldn't try. Like, what if some random, you know, lady who's an accountant is just like a natural, like, harp player?
Yeah.
She just has never picked one up. Because they're half, you know, unless it's bullshit and there's not any naturals, what's the luck that the people who just try singing, you know, are they really only a few, or is it really a ton of people who just never try it?
It's probably a combination of people who, well, there's like natural talent for like
yeah,
everything.
So, like, I'm sure like the kid
Yeah.
sings as a kid and like, oh shit, like, do you hear that kid's voice?
But there'll be those people who have that natural talent but don't have the like drive to actually like practice or like get better or put themselves out there, and
Or the
you know
support
what I mean?
system to push that.
Exactly.
Like if you have
yeah.
some parents who are like, "Why are you singing? Like that's not a career," and you're just like, "All right, you know, it's fun. I'll sing in the shower," and you just like go be
Oh
a
my
business
god.
manager, and you never actually pursue that. That's kind of sad to think about, to be honest.
Yeah, I would feel so bad as a parent to just look. It's one thing if your kid wants to, I don't know, name something crazy, but to just dismiss any sort of like artistic dreams that your kid may have. It's
Yeah, we talked about that last
bad.
episode. It fucks a kid up.
yeah.
Look at this. I was just looking through sports news. Tony Ferguson's wife files restraining order following multiple incidents with police.
Oh shit.
That's unfortunate. I didn't really take him for that type of guy. But you don't really know someone. I mean, from just a fan's perspective, we don't know the guy.
Yeah. What does the article say? Christina Ferguson.
Temporary restraining order yesterday against her husband in Orange County. No details.
I was gonna say, does
there's
it say why?
Just a bunch of fluff.
I was
What? Okay, here we go. Here's
Oh.
at least the unconfirmed reports. Over the past few months, here's a few things. Wrecking his home following 3 days of no sleep and believing someone placed a computer chip in his leg.
Jesus.
Throwing holy water, in quotes, at his wife repeatedly. Cops advised him to see a professional and told Christina to give him space. Claiming someone... I shouldn't laugh. It sounds like he clearly has some
Yeah,
mental
no,
impairment
that's
going
scary.
on from obviously being hit in the head
Right.
multiple times in his career.
Claiming someone was inside his walls. This was reported during a welfare check where his cops couldn't reach him, so they couldn't do anything about it.
What? Kicking his father out of the house.
And acting erratically enough to warrant a police call. See,
It just says incident closed at the end of that report. Interesting.
Having Eddie Bravo, honestly, like having Eddie Bravo around him is probably not like a super good influence because obviously he's going through like some like schizophrenic type shit, and Eddie Bravo's so into conspiracy theories, he's probably fucking feeding him.
You might be like, maybe there is someone in your walls, bro.
Yeah, well, fuck, dude. Like, I'm serious. Like, yeah, like that's probably not a good combo. But but you made a good point with the possible CTE that he may be experiencing as well too, being a huge factor in that.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure it's CTE because he always seemed like a pretty cool guy when they do the fight previews, the embedded, and they show before the fight, how he trains. He always seems like a sharp guy for the most part. He's a little quirky, but that's his whole like persona. I never thought him to think there's like people putting chips in his leg and hiding in his walls like wall weasels.
Yeah, that I don't know, that sounds scary to me. I really hope the best for him. It sounds like he could probably just use some like professional help after that.
Yeah, he probably shouldn't fight for a while.
Could you imagine him just like literally just like not stopping on some sort of choke because like he thought that the person he was choking was like some sort of FBI agent?
No. That's
oh my
crazy.
God. Yeah, that sounds just like a dangerous situation.
Conspiracies, man.
That's what got him in that situation.
Probably. He started watching a bunch of YouTube videos about flat Earth and
Yeah,
who killed JFK, and all of a sudden he's believing there's people putting chips in his leg.
because he got like knee surgery. It was a pretty big deal for him. He was out for a while, so I don't know.
Oh my God.
That could be
That was a
fucking with him.
massive yawn. I didn't mean to yawn on you. That just came out.
What article are you switching to?
I'm looking at just random crap here. 10 kids arrested in India for playing PUBG.
Why
That's
is
good.
that?
The Indian state of Gujarat recently banned children from playing PUBG, that's PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds for those not in the loop, after local authorities decided the shooter was to blame in an upswing in violent traits among local kids. Yeah, but is throwing them in jail a good way to prevent them from getting violent? I feel like that would definitely not be a good idea. Yeah, so
can't do anything to support the cause.
So they banned it last week, and they actually began enforcing it, arresting 10 teenagers this week before releasing. Okay, so they released them with a warning. Can you imagine? You're walking to your car. Well, I mean, I doubt that would be their situation because they're obviously kids, probably without jobs and all that. But we just get arrested, like walking, going to work one day, and they're like, "Sir, we caught you playing Apex Legends. It's very violent."
Dude, yeah, that's scary.
Dystopia I don't want to be in. I get that you could have concern about kids playing it. They shouldn't be playing it if they're like 10. But that's up to the parents. You shouldn't be arresting them. I mean, how can you arrest kids for playing games? Like, ticket the parents or something.
We've, in the U.S., because this is in India, correct?
Yeah.
Gujarat. The U.S. has already had the arguments. I mean, you'll still kind of hear them today, but like not nearly as much as you would like a couple of years back about how violent video games are destroying kids and X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
But
Grand Theft Auto was huge when we were kids. It would always be on the news. Is it corrupting our minds? Like, because I always get pissed because
San Andreas. That was the biggest one.
I know, because I was so excited when it was coming out. I was like, this game looks sweet, and then
that made me want to play it more.
Yeah, as it was leading up to it, it made me want to play it more. But it made like my mom was like, that game looks horrible. I was thinking, I want it.
For those who don't know as well too, there was a mod. It wasn't even a part of the actual game.
Hot Coffee.
But there was a mod called, I guess it was popular at the time, called Hot Coffee, where you could mod your game, and during a certain portion of the game, you can like mimic your character, like having sex with another character. But don't they have like all their clothes on and everything too?
No, I don't think so. But I mean, how lame is that, anyways? Especially if you look back how bad the graphics are of the characters in general. And there was like internet porn around at that time. Obviously, it was a fairly advanced, computer game. It was out on PC too, so people could easily just looked at real people. It's only like I don't get some guy would want to play it, get some thrill out of it, but it's not even like it's anything crazier than what you could just search up on Google.
But whatever reason, it was something. I feel like it was just like an easy target because
Yeah, but he could just easily just say boobs in the Google image.
because I mean, look at the circumstances surrounding it. A, it was a mod; it wasn't even part of the actual game, and B, the game was already rated M. So realistically, someone underage should not have been playing the game in the first place. So,
Agreed, that's what I'm saying. It's like a creepy little mod you can install, but in reality, the whole report should be like, parents, pay attention to what your kids are doing on the computer, because you can find way worse stuff just by searching the internet.
But see, in the U.S., where we've like I said, we've had that argument. But over in India, it looks like they still don't know how to handle that situation.
You want to know what my favorite part of the article is? We must guide our children to get the most from technology, encourage their inquisitiveness on learning about various apps, like how to build something or cook something. And then, despite this, the ban only covers PUBG and does not extend to Fortnite. I mean, come on. So they make it sound all, like people are going to get into all these amazing tasks and learn new skills, but they don't ban Fortnite. The kids are just going to jump on that because they're like, I don't want to get arrested, bro. Let's just get on Fortnite.
Well, look, that is.
By the way, does that not look like Keanu Reeves? I can't stop looking at that. Is that a joke? That is Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, that's definitely a joke. Okay. But
this guy played Keanu Reeves on like Mona Lisa.
You mentioned in the article that what was it? That the person wanted to say that people should be using technology to build something, to cook something, more altruistic reasons, and really, like that's true. We were talking about, I believe, on the podcast before about how most people are at this point just consuming versus creating, and while shitty circumstances surrounding that quote, I mean that's actually pretty true. Because
no, the quote was great. I mean, they should be actually forcing them to do that. I mean,
that's when it gets weird.
Like, how is Fortnite not violent? I mean, it's cartoons, but you're still killing people. There's guns. This guy knows what's up. The top comment: I'd bet children spending time in jail also causes an upswing in quote violent traits. Yeah.
Yeah. When you throw someone in jail who's, let's say, not doing anything like horrible, like let's say someone's outside of a bar doing, okay, someone is outside of a bar completely by themselves and they're taking a piss, and a cop pulls up and throws them in jail for public urination when let's say 99 out of 100 times this dude's just like a regular person, very nice person. Who the fuck knows?
That's always been a fear of mine. That's why I'm afraid to pee on the freeway, because you have to go on the sex offender list.
And then you throw that person in with, like, let's say someone who's actually, like, in there for, like, murdering someone. It's like, there has to be some sort of...
Yeah, suddenly the guy in there is like, dude, why you do all that shit? He's like, you could just rob people. He's like suddenly telling you all these, like, criminal techniques in there.
But then you'll throw kids in there who, like they're just doing, like, innocent kid shit. And then now you put them in the system and make them have... Because then that makes it harder for them to get, at least in the U.S., harder for them to get jobs, harder for them to get into school, X, Y, and Z.
Right, what about the next batch? They gave these 10 kids a warning. What if there's a group of, like, 15 friends who are using, like, a VPN who think they're getting away with it, but then, just friends at the school report them or tell, hey, they're still playing. And next thing you know, they get thrown in jail. That can't be good. You suddenly have them mixed in with, like, probably 17, 18-year-olds who are, like, criminals, who are probably going to, like, force them into some sort of bad behavior, violence.
Thankfully, I can't foresee something like that.
Maybe it's just like happening. A scare tactic, but why don't they just label it like a program? I don't know. Well, just like, what was that MTV show? Scared Straight. They used to play it uncensored. And then they stopped playing it because I forgot one guy got in, like, the room with the kid, and I don't know, like, threatened him. I don't know. I forgot what it was.
That's a pretty popular, like, trope, like having kids like go to, like, prisons and get, like, yelled at and shit like that.
I don't know if they do it anymore. It was huge in the 90s, I know. Early 2000s maybe still. There was a couple of shows about it.
I wonder
oh my God,
how much that would actually, like, affect some kids. Probably the ones who knew, like, who weren't getting filmed a little bit more. But the ones like on like TV, I don't know, maybe with like a camera in their face, it probably made things a little less like real.
Yeah. Oh my god, before I close it, look at this. This is horrible. Fortnite could be next unless the developers add some Bollywood dance moves to it.
Hey, like
Good bargaining chip.
yeah,
He's like, we'll throw in some dances for you. I can see
that's
that
totally
happening.
possible. Just like how I guess a lot of Chinese companies are investing in Hollywood movies, just kind of make China look a little bit better. You don't
Yeah,
see a
that's-
lot of
Yeah, people are like, where's the Chinese takeover? Where's this takeover by this government? It's not one big. They're not invading.
Yeah, they're not gonna you see a fucking like
Yeah.
tank roll up like in front of your door.
Yeah, it's a slow crawl. I mean, you see even a lot of hotels and huge buildings in LA, major cities, New York, they're owned by Saudis or Chinese, like billionaires. It's not like all this is our soil. We own all this stuff. A lot of our stuff is owned by other countries.
Yeah, there's countries that have a big issue with that. Like, it doesn't Australia have some sort of like crazy restrictions on like foreigners owning property over there?
Yeah, I think you can rent, but it's really hard to buy a house.
But and then in
Or
places
land.
like, isn't it you see in some parts of the UK, like I think like Great Britain, like people will own extravagant houses and like not live over there, but just like own them.
Yeah, that's a huge thing in London. You can look up on YouTube. There's millions of videos of people filming supercars because these guys are so rich. When it's nice in the UK during the summertime, they basically just fly over like a cargo ship, plane with their cars in it, or a shipping container. I don't know exactly how that works, but they basically go live in London or go vacation there, and they just drive around their Lamborghinis and stuff and have their mansion there.
I
And then
really
they go back when it gets
could-
cold.
could not imagine just having that much excess wealth to just live like that. It's just normal.
Yeah, to not even be content, like let's drive our Lamborghinis around where we live. To be like, hey Kevin, like let's ship our cars to that country, and then we're gonna fly over there, pick up our cars, spend 2 like months driving through here. It's like, oh my god, it's just so much money to do all that stuff. Hundreds of thousands of dollars in shipping alone, logistics.
But people can just
Yeah,
do
to some
that.
people that's
we've-
a drop in a bucket.
Yeah. People we've never even heard of too. Just
Yeah, random princes or, like heirs of gigantic corporations who have billions of dollars. That's not a huge deal to them.
no, not at all.
That's like us
It's-
buying tickets to concerts and things along those lines.
If only we could just take a concert to I don't know, Jamaica and not even think about it. Like, oh yeah.
It doesn't necessarily give you happiness, but damn, it sounds fun.
Oh yeah.
You can be 100% happy, though, just in your own skin doing nothing, though. That's the key. You could just throw in like a song on your phone. You don't need even a crazy setup some days and just, get yourself into a good mood. And that's all it takes. Just appreciate things you have.
Most people just want genuine human contact, I think.
Yeah.
And
Like
having
call
a
your
lot of
parents or a good friend, have a good conversation. To me, that's more fulfilling than buying anything.
money can get you contact with people. Like
Yeah.
you probably meet a lot of people, but you probably won't get a lot of genuine contact.
Yeah, it might make certain parts of your day more exciting or more enjoyable, more comfortable with more money, but those things don't translate to happiness.
You hear people like when they win the lottery, let's say millions of dollars, family members who or friends, so-called quote unquote, that they haven't talked to in years or didn't know existed will come out of the woodwork and then they'll beg, they'll sue, they'll do whatever. And that's got to be super stressful for people. Want to say, "Oh, well, they're millionaires now," but that's got to be so stressful for
Having crazy bills and business managers, and depending on whatever their situation is,
I mean,
financiers.
There are people who are like smart about it and
Keep it simple.
do things the right way, but to just have to deal with such a sudden influx of new unwanted attention must be overwhelming.
Yeah, just trying to avoid telling anyone, avoiding. I think you would spin it well though. Like I really like this guy's The Limit on Instagram. I think it's Eric Bragg is his name. He's a skateboarder, but he's the guy who won the Powerball over in California when it was that massive, like, billion or whatever, 700 million after taxes. And I think he split it with one lady.
Mm-hmm.
But that guy just, basically put all his money into continuing to chill with his friends, but just funds like, they have a pool hall party thing like every Tuesday. I always see him post. That a bunch of people go show up to, like Elon Musk was there playing pool one time, and he like travels around like making skateboard videos with his friends and just a bunch of nonsense.
Oh yeah, at that
He drives
point,
like an old like muscle car that's not even like painted nice, but the
that
guy's
point-
worth like millions. He just does shit like his way. He still has long, crazy like Jesus skater hair. Like there's no reason to like suddenly become some like snooty billionaire. Like the dude won a bunch of money. He did it the right way. He just kept living the way he lives.
it would be hard for me to, well, at the same time, hard for him as well too to keep any sort of real anonymity, because
He spun it in a
his-
good way. That's what I was getting at, though. Like he used that money to have seems like a larger name in the skateboarding community because he was able to like promote a lot of his videos and get crazy camera gear
see
to show all that.
it worked out for him because like I feel like in that profession, like you want to get your name out there to be known as like someone who's really good.
And what he
And-
did is right after he got the money, he went on like a crazy just posting spree. Like he went on all these vacations with like some friends, like to these islands and shit, and like skydiving, and posted all that to like get his name out there. But then he started posting way more skateboarding, which I can tell is his thing,
Right.
which is smart. Kind of got back to his core.
There are some people who wouldn't want to be out there like that, and I think it depends on the state. Some states you can keep your name withheld when you win the lottery, but some states
I
they
would
have to
100% if I could.
some states they have to publish your name.
Yeah.
So if I could prevent it, I would not have my name published.
Yeah, I
And-
wouldn't want people knowing.
No. Obviously, eventually, close friends and most family would know about it, and obviously the word would spread from there.
Yeah.
There's no keeping something like that under wraps. But I would try to have, because I would want to do something for the people who are close around me for my entire life.
Definitely. I feel like I
So-
would be always paying. You don't want the people to take advantage of you, but you already have your core group of people.
What I would do, I would probably like give like certain people just like equal amounts, and then just say that and say, like take that. I'm not gonna just like give you like money for X, Y, and Z, but like every sort of vacation is like on me now, and like
I was about to
shit
say,
that.
like, I don't even know if I'd give people cash at all, but
I
I
would.
just be like,
Especially if they like student loan debt stuff like that, I'd be like, and if,
Okay,
and if
I pay
everyone like
people's
millions,
debts,
I'm
yeah.
like, yeah, come on, like I'll help you out with like shit like that, but
okay, debts maybe
certain amount.
maybe just pure cash for no reason. But I'll say,
but just
I
a
would-
certain amount, let them do what the fuck they want with it. That way they don't got to come back.
Well, I was gonna say is I was just gonna be, I would just be generous as fuck. I would just buy everyone whatever. Like when we went out, I would just pay for everything. Like front row like tickets to sports games, etc.
She's like, oh yeah, of course.
Because all that stuff would be way more worthwhile than just like here's $2,000.
But what would be really cool is like maybe just because
I don't know. We don't have that type of dough, so
If we
maybe
wa-
we'd be
if-
more or less generous.
if we won the lottery, what would be cool is maybe we could use that to start some sort of like business where we could just spend our free time actually creating other cool shit.
Oh,
and that
100%.
just like a lot of, like Vice should like. Doesn't shit like that happen?
I would
in that
100%
manner?
make our own like fantasy factory type situation. The podcast studio, places to park cars,
Yeah, why
basketball
not?
hoops, a ball pit, anything.
That's one thing I was thinking about recently. I have not played basketball in a minute. That was
I know.
huge.
I miss shooting around.
Yeah. Even
I don't even need a
mm.
game, just put on some music and just shoot around for an hour. That was the shit back in the day.
It would always give me anxiety to actually like get in the game.
Me too.
Because it was like there's pressure now. There are people
the
watching.
cheerleaders are there, the pressure, yeah.
Yeah, because I just wanted to just fucking shoot around. Is like too much to ask for? Now people are like looking at me like, oh my god, like
Yeah, it's just too much going on. As a kid, I couldn't handle the anxiety. I feel like I'd be better at a game now because I don't really give a shit what people think.
no, yeah.
Yeah, I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna suck, and you guys are gonna experience me sucking. But
yeah,
that's
it's like
okay.
shit happens,
Yeah, like if I'm very good at taking criticism with stuff. Like I'm very aware. Like if someone like saw me shooting basketball, and like, dude, you suck at basketball. Like, yeah, I know, I don't really play.
Yeah, it's like
Why would you
do I
get
look like
offended
fucking
by
LeBron
that?
James?
Yeah, like I don't spend my time playing basketball, so obviously I suck at it. I mean, my shooting used to be good back in the day. I get the fundamentals, but I don't play enough to have any sort of muscle memory to be decent. If I
No.
start shooting around for an hour, I'll start making them when I get a feel for it.
But
Even 15 minutes.
to be that good, yeah, you need to have a lot of muscle memory for that. Just like any sport, really.
Yeah.
Like you have to be able to just do it without like thinking.
Yeah, but, like if I hopped into a random street game, I'd get destroyed.
Yeah.
Like those guys probably play like multiple times a week.
But the thing is, it's fun still.
Yeah, it's still fun just running
Yeah.
back and forth, even giving people passes and not even shooting it that much because you know you're gonna miss. Good exercise.
Yeah.
That makes me want to shoot around. I want a basketball hoop.
When I was younger, I always wanted to, like speaking of like big homes and whatnot, always wanted my own like basketball court in my house, like
Yeah.
full sized, like I don't know, maybe attached to the garage or what the fuck, but indoor basketball court. I always thought that would be really cool.
I still am not a huge fan of unnecessarily like gaudy and like stupidly just large like mansion houses, like where they obviously don't use 12 bathrooms.
Yeah,
and that
that's
type of-
silly.
But I 100% get when you see someone like Deadmau5's house, how it's like a pretty big house, but the whole thing is just multiple crazy like rooms that I would put together, you know, and things that is far beyond my imagination. Like his,
I haven't like seen his house. Like what kind of like rooms like does he have?
well, he has an entire LAN party set up in the basement, I think it is. There's a video on YouTube showing all his crazy stuff, but he has a LAN party set up so friends can come over. It's like 6 different PCs and like a hexagon all set up with their own monitors and gaming headphones, and each one matches one of his cars.
Oh,
The
that's
computer
cool.
cases, like the theme.
That's cool.
Yeah, some like company custom made it, and he has the one of 2 Dolby Atmos. I don't know the exact pronunciation. Mixing booths in the entire world. The other one's at Dolby itself.
Shit.
And I told you in previous episodes, he's got R2D2, the original one. Just a bunch of crazy stuff that I would never even think to, own. But in general, he's got a bunch of just crazy gaming setups and stuff like that. Like he makes good use of his space, it seems, and he has like a cool, like decent, normal sized garage with like a Tim Hortons logo on the roof. He just does cool stuff. Like it's a pretty crazy house. Like he installed his own high speed internet tower, but he doesn't have just stupid.
Unnecessary.
Yeah, just like 50
Vanity.
bedrooms that are all like fancy and stuff that you have like a butler.
Yeah.
I think that's stupid.
That it just sounds so silly whenever I hear, oh yeah, this house has 14 bathrooms and
Yeah.
10 bedrooms. Like why?
Yeah, like I could see if I had that much money, my house being pretty big, but it'd be like very specific reasons. I'd have maybe a half court basketball court in the backyard, like a full size, but half of it.
I feel like
And
the
I probably
only
want a huge garage, but I wouldn't, have unnecessary, like, I don't need 8 bathrooms.
I feel like the only reason why I would ever own a house that had some sort of like crazy bedroom situation like that would be to Airbnb it to like big groups of people.
Yeah, like a company coming in.
Like
Yeah.
or a group of friends who want to go vacation somewhere and want to stay at a really nice place.
And they want
Like,
to do coke, so there's 8 bathrooms.
Yeah, because like let's say a whole family wants to go and do coke.
Yeah.
Then like that's aunts, uncles, like it's a whole family reunion. Like
Jolly
you
good old time.
could run out a whole family reunion to a whole bunch of cokeheads.
Yeah, and jump off
I mean,
the roof into the pool.
You may be missing a lot of items when they leave. You might be missing some furniture and shit. But like
Yeah,
other
you're
than that,
safe.
yeah. Like other than that, you may make quite a bit of money off
Yeah.
of that. Like get used to the property if like.
Your pool's a weird color.
But
when you get back.
I guarantee you, like a lot of those houses, that's what, well, depending on location, what some are probably used for. But there are still some weird people who just like to own that many like
Yeah.
bedrooms. I don't get it.
They always say money corrupts, etc. But I don't know. I've already gotten past the point of being obsessed with things, like getting the most expensive phone, laptop, whatever. I know it's
But
not,
you don't have like millions of dollars. You know what I mean?
Agreed. I would say is like I would have way more money, but I feel like I would still just spend it on the same shit that interests me. Maybe I'd get into more stuff with access, but
I would probably just do the shit that I do now, but enhanced.
that's what I'm basically
yeah.
getting at. Like I would probably have like the 100-inch TV, playing PS4 on there, but I'd still be playing PS4 with you probably, and I might have a crazy speaker set up for movies, and I probably have a crazy kitchen with like a hibachi grill. But I mean, I would still probably just cook the similar meals I do now. I'd probably, I kind of know what I like. I still like coffee. I like making my own coffee. I'm not gonna suddenly like go every day to Starbucks because I have that much money. It would just be annoying to me. I don't like leaving the house that much.
As a kid, one other thing I wanted in my house was a like full, like not a full size, of course, with the like 50 seats in there, but a movie theater situation in my house,
100%.
like a huge like projector that's
like 2 or 3 rows of seats, like with a middle aisle, so you can invite like 6 friends over and be like, "Hey, you guys want to watch, Star Wars or Interstellar in IMAX, basically inside my house?"
Always like soundproof walls, so you're not disturbing anyone else in the house.
Oh yeah, we don't give a shit about the neighbors at that level. We'll blast the walls off. The bricks will shake.
I really wanted that as a kid. I mean, that's something that, like you mentioned, it wouldn't be like a vanity thing because I use it all the fucking time. Play video games in there too. They're really fun.
Didn't that happen to Zuckerberg? Didn't his neighbors complain? He lives in that super rich area where Bill Gates and everyone lives.
And didn't he like buy their houses and shit?
I don't know if he actually did. Maybe he did, but he at least said he would. He offered to. He's like, if you have a problem with the noise, he's like, I'll just buy your houses. That's a boss.
I was gonna say that's a really baller move, yeah.
But it's kind of becomes less of a boss human move and more of like a creepy.
Yeah, no, he's creepy.
Creepy lizard humanoid move. When you watch like his grilling video really makes it seem like he's an alien who has never like grilled meat before, and he's obsessed with this new like thing. He wants to go tell all his like his other friends in space about it. He's like I really like grilling. He's like, pulled pork. There's this one video that cuts it together from this live stream, dude. He's like, eyes are like all black saucered out. He's just staring, talking about meat so much. He's like, the meats, got smoked the meat. See, at this temperature, the meats. He just keeps going on and on.
He's probably so disconnected from like
Reality.
real life that he has to do shit like that to actually like, okay, like let me settle.
Yeah.
Because most people, they like live their everyday lives like, okay, like I'm gonna go to work, I'm gonna plan some vacations, gonna hang out with some friends on the weekend, etc.
The crazy thing
kids.
is he had a friend next to him in the video though. Like if I was sitting in front of the camera, like like these meats are really good. You just gotta smoke them right. They can be tender, but if you smoke them too long, I'm just going on and on. Wouldn't you just eventually be like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy?
Instead of hanging out with like friends cooking, like actually barbecuing like every
I love
blue
barbecue.
moon and just worrying about like kids and like, even I think he has kids, but
I think he does.
Yeah. Besides doing like regular everyday shit, he's thinking about all like Facebook and like all this privacy shit and foreign entities fucking with Facebook and all this stuff. Like he's like,
I think he's legit like some sort of alien AI humanoid lizard, because especially I like how no one even questioned how he just one day released a YouTube video. He's like, hey, here's this AI system that I have in my house that's far more advanced than Siri or anything Google has, and I made it in my free time. And everyone's just like, holy shit, that's cool. No one really like looked into that, I feel. What that makes you think, what does Facebook have then?
Look, Facebook probably has some very intelligent, creepy shit.
Yeah. Have you seen that video? I'll send it to you.
I have not. Post it to the Twitter.
Yeah, I'll post it on the Twitter. It's really interesting. I mean, at least it could be just fake, just video edited, with a voice actor talking as the AI. But it sounds really natural. He just says like, hey, good morning to whatever the name of it is. And it just turns on the lights, similar to like Alexa, but he was just having normal conversations. He's like, can you like, write some notes for me about that? And it was all very like, it never questioned anything in his demo.
Kind of like
and he
how
said he did
the Tony Stark thing and what is that?
Yeah.
What is this thing called? Do you know?
Yeah, was he like a Tony Stark? What's going on now?
Because something like that.
Someone would be more impressed. I was pretty mind blown by that.
I feel like it'll probably once it starts doing creepy stuff, if it gets like popular, we'll start to hear about it. You know what I mean? But speaking of Twitter, you guys should follow us at TCOC Podcast on Twitter. You just look up the Chamber of Consciousness. Go ahead and follow us on there.
Yeah, we post random articles, videos from
the
podcast we talk about.
Yeah, we'll try to reference stuff and throw it on there just so it's not completely blind.
Yeah, we don't have video, so we try to post videos we find interesting that we talk about, so you can go back and watch them.
But just wait, we will have video up soon enough. Just be patient.
You guys got to wait for these things.
Yeah, be patient.
We're working with limited equipment and then
space.
Yeah, space mainly. Space is very hard to come by these days. But hopefully we'll have a better setup shortly.
Yeah.
Anyway, stay safe, everyone. Have a good week.
Yep, you guys have a good one.
Thanks for listening. Peace out.
I wanna take you in the kitchen, lift up your